Hi, it's Emily with Emily Talks. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I'm going to start with a moment of gratitude. First, for myself, for sitting down and choosing to make this content. Second, to you, because you're here, willing to commune with me and being a person who chooses change in your life. So thank you for being that person and coming here to be on that journey of change. It's really cool that you chose to come here for that. So thank you. I am redoing a video today that I actually created yesterday, and I'm going to link it down below. Initially, the video was called Be Willing to Learn. And I'm going to redo that video here and now because I really want to focus on the actual concept of what it means to be willing to learn. This concept I first had introduced to me when I was learning about the life of St. Anthony the Great. I believe it was St. Anthony the Great. If I'm wrong, I'm going to link it down into the description because the story is the same regardless of whatever the dude's name was. Or at least I'll link the correct person's name. But essentially there was a saint who went around and he wanted to do better and better within his search to serve God better in his life. And what he did is he found people who were experts in each of the things that he wanted to accomplish, along the lines of what he wanted to do. And he would go to each person and master what it is that they had to teach and implemented all of that in his life. And then he continued to learn and grow in this way. And he would seek these men out. They were men. He would seek these other spiritual leaders out, stay with them, learn from them, and integrate that into his life. And that really made an impact on me even when I was younger. When I went to college, one of the very first questions that I was asked when I sat down in my science class, we went around the class because the classes were super small. It was like 15 people in a class or 10 people in a class, really, really small. And we each went around the table and talked about who influenced us most in our lives. And I actually brought up this thing. I was like, you know what? I don't want to have just one major influence. There's several different, and I'm going to pull them all together and talk about how all of these people who were really strong in certain areas created an impact in my life. I don't want to just be like one person. And I've brought that concept with me in my life. I actually talked about this a little bit when I talked about my spiritual experience. What do I call spirituality and what do I consider to be my spiritual experience? I talked about that in my video, Mysticism and Spirituality, which I'm going to link down below if you'd like to check it out. But there's this, this sense of what is right and good inside of me. That's ostensible, right? I look at it, I perceive the thing, and then I respond in this pre-rational sort of way that there's something inside of me that looks at something that is good and just represents my own thriving or the ability to thrive or the fact that I live in this benevolent universe. And my spirit responds to that. And I would call that my soul, which is, I don't know, I just feel like I really want a strong, powerful word that can talk about the thing that's inside of me that propels me to pursue what I believe is good. And I can use my intellect to understand that deeply and to continue to pursue it. But I feel like that first moment of being driven to the good is an ostensible experience. Just like life and death are ostensible experiences. Death is more the lack of that experience and the knowledge that at some point I will no longer be able to experience anything within this world because my senses will be done. They will be over. And there's something there that propels me. And it's not solely logical or reason driven. It's something a little bit deeper within myself. And it is what has led me to my current philosophy. It is what has led me to accepting that the world is knowable, and that through thinking deeply about this world and becoming more consistent with that, I can arrive at efficacy. Efficacy being that whatever I plan to do, I'm able to accomplish it because my thoughts and ideas align with reality, and my actions are according to those thoughts and ideas. And the better that they align with reality, the more that I'm able to actually achieve what I want to do. When it comes down to efficacy, achieving what it is that I set out to do, I look for that in others. How I integrate this thing about St. Anthony the Great, who went around and he saw that there was something good and he pursued that. I have a lot of friends who are, they believe in something that is bigger and greater than this world. A lot of friends who are Christians, a lot of friends who, are hippy-dippy. And they believe in chakras and crystals and, faith healing and all of these kinds of things. Things that I actively reject. And yet in many of them, I deeply connect with their sense of mindfulness, love, healing the body through your thoughts. And that's really on the journey that I am on, right? So I'm going to link down below The Body Keeps the Score. That's actually the very first person who developed a sense of diagnosis for post-traumatic stress disorder. He wrote a book called The Body Keeps the Score, and it is about how the physical trauma to the body, the body itself creates a connection, a very strong connection in the mind at the moment of the trauma, because there's this powerful experience of bad, like of death, pain, suffering, whatever, that our brain says, oh my gosh, I never ever want to have to, if I experience this thing, there's imminent danger and I need to respond, violently to this, whether it's violently shutting down or violently running away or violently, it's a very, very strong reaction. And in the moment of trauma, a very strong neural connection is created. But it starts with the body. And this sense of healing the body through the mind, I think, is, when you talk about it from a non-mystical place, it comes from creating new neural networks with purpose and intention. And that's just one of the things that I connect with my mystical friends about. My point on this is that I do not want to shy away from trying to observe and understand where people come from, where their ideas come from, how they implement those ideas, if they have something good, if they are pursuing something good. But they're Democrats, or Republicans. I don't like either of them, so. If they are mystical, if they're Christian, just, if they're mean, if they associate with something that I'm really, really against, if there is an idea there, well, not an idea, but if there is evidence of efficacy, right? The ability to consistently achieve the thing that you are intending to achieve. And that's something that I also want to achieve in my life. I'm going to observe. And I should observe. If I am struggling to be able to achieve that thing through other means, it is up to me to look beyond what I have already done to find out new information, to be willing to look wherever it is, from whomever it may be, to discover more about this world. I'm not an island, and I don't want to be in an echo chamber, because there's no sense of growth within an echo chamber, of just sitting around people that agree exactly or think as exactly as I think. So I did a video on this before, and it ended up being to the people I was scared of, who'd say, oh my gosh, Emily is leaving the echo chamber. How dare she? And honestly, those people don't actually exist. They are in my mind. I got a perception of who that person may be, and I built it up into this great thing that I started to become afraid of. What if somebody comes across, this concept that I have of looking for information wherever it may be, that I see something that I want in my life, and I decide to imbibe it from places that aren't pre-certified to be part of the philosophical system that I identify with. What if? And that's something that I encountered a lot in my childhood, with a very different philosophical system, and that I'm worried about now in my adulthood with the types of ideas that I hold today. I don't want to be somebody I refuse to be somebody who feels controlled about my own thoughts and ideas and feelings. I don't, that is what it means to be second-handed, is that my thoughts and my ideas and my feelings don't belong to me. Instead, I'm surrendering the way that I think and feel, and trying to allow some higher power to dictate to me what I must think and feel. And I don't recommend that for anybody. I certainly don't recommend it for you. That's why, regardless of what your ideas are, if you're on a journey where you respect introspection and thinking deeply and clearly and caring about your ideas and your feelings, and you feel that I have done some of that, you're going to come over here and you're going to be part of this experience, whether or not you agree with me on even great big ideas, like the fact that I reject mysticism and Christianity and Judaism and all of the other Muslim, Hinduism, love in the treeism. I don't care what it is. It's not my cup of tea. And I know that I can commune with others who don't agree with me because I already do it. And I already go to sources where there's some deep disagreement. However, we are all on this human journey with common experiences in a common world. It's the same for all of us. Absolutely, we have our own unique identity, and the way that we process information is unique to each of us. The way that we choose, the way that we act, the way that we feel, it's all unique. And that's wonderful. But just as every leaf on a tree is unique, we could still call it a leaf because there's a commonality there. We're all human having this human experience. And to the greater extent, we all have very, very similar basic values about caring for ourselves, caring for each other, choosing community and trade. Love is important. All of us care about that. So regardless of who you are, who I am, if we're doing good about something, we're really efficacious, achieving what it is that we set out to accomplish. There's something to learn there. Being willing to step back from my own judgments on things that I disagree with about other people, being willing to step forward with an open mind of understanding allows me to take in as much as I possibly can, as much information as I possibly can, integrate it with what I already know, change what needs to be changed, and not feel threatened by ideas that oppose my own, because I feel confidence in what I do have right. And sometimes I can have utter confidence in something that I have right and find out that it's wrong, that there's something here to change. And I know absolutely that that's one of the places where I stand, because there are some big things that cause me upset, sadness, discomfort, that I want to change my life. So being in this place, in this willing place to learn more, is very important. And I want to encourage you, as I feel encouraged, to recognize and pursue new information, even if you're scared of the source. Be mindful, absolutely mindful about the things about the source that you're concerned with, and try to be, use discretion, discernment, to say, hey, this part of it I'm not really sure about, and I don't want to take on these ideas. But listen, come from a place where you can take it in, pull out the parts that you want, integrate them into your life, see changes, to being able to pursue what you believe to be beautiful, and move on. And you'll gain some friends along the way. You'll interact with people that will support you in your journey too. I mean, I know that I have gained wonderful friends by being willing to say, I'm going to associate with people who have common goals to me, regardless of the fact that they embrace mysticism very seriously, and I very seriously reject it. I did not come from a place of insult and, just saying, hey, I'm unwilling to commune with y'all because I don't accept X, Y, and Z. And I also feel like coming from a place of agreement betters what is good in this world. The more that I focus on what is good, the more often that I'm going to see it. The more often that I'm going to support it, recognize it, talk about it, further it in this world, support others who are there for that same thing. And the things that are not a commonality between us, they won't become a thing of friction and of discord. They will instead be, you know what? I respect that you own your own ideas, and I am grateful and celebrate our similarities. It just creates ease within this world, and we can all focus on our common goals and get further with them, instead of focusing on the things that are not common between us and create more friction, upset, divide. Be willing to learn, be willing to grow. I'm going to continue doing that myself. So I hope this encourages you to look for the commonality between yourself and others, and really go after when you see that somebody is achieving things that you think are important, and connect with them. It's going to make your world a lot less small and a lot more full. Namaste, my friends.